fellow Ugandans, I send you felicitations from the judiciary of Uganda. It is a matter of great celebration that the Supreme Court and the Court of Appeal today sit in their own homes for the first time.
The history of construction of apparent courts started, I think, in 1999, before I came here. And the decision to have the bills of quantities approved was done in 2014.
I'm so excited because I've been part of this story, both from its beginning to the end. This is in the sense that I was previously, before I became Chief Registrar, I was the chairperson of the contracts committee that handled the procurement of these twin buildings.
Because there was little money coming in, it was very difficult to start the construction. So I took it upon myself to make sure that we mobilize resources. And that time the Chief Justice was Bart Katwell. And I told him that what I needed was really support. And then I do the networking. That's what he did.
We have the home today for the Supreme Court and the Court of Appeal, but I would like to seize this moment to hail my predecessors in office, beginning from Chief Justice Wambuzi, who commenced the quest for a home for the Supreme Court. This was continued by Chief Justice Odoke, during whose tenure plans were drawn for the two appellate courts. And then my immediate predecessor, whose Deputy Chief Justice I was, Chief Justice Katurebe, during whose tenure groundbreaking was done on the 3rd of December 2019. These great judicial sons of Uganda pursued the need for a home for the two appellate courts vigorously, consistently, and that's the reason we are celebrating these two twin towers. Mine was to ensure that the two twin towers were built and built to their satisfaction. The Ugandan taxpayer who solely shouldered the construction of these two towers.
The competition was very high, but I just was very, very clear to the bidders who wanted to influence the process. I told them, no, if you are competent, if you are the most compliant, you will be approved by the contracts committee.
We were so particular about track record of the companies that we were giving this contract to manage or to handle. Why? Because I had spent a number of years working at the anti-corruption division. And for most of what I knew about public procurement, many were problematic, to the extent that sometimes there were companies that were procured which turned out to be briefcase companies. So we needed to know who exactly is Sayani Brothers, what have they done, what is their experience. So this was something we tasked the head of procurement to avail, and we were very satisfied that he did avail the track record. In that period, we asked for the period of 5 years, what had Sayani done, what projects had they handled. And we received information where they had handled about 18 different projects. Most of all these were projects of 50 billion and above. So they had the financial muscle, they were able to handle the contract. And so one of the buildings that they have put up at the URA Towers, they have also put up the office of the Auditor General. So with all these and those other projects that we were taken through, we were satisfied that they are the right people. And down the road, I think it was the right choice that we made.
When we came in with the idea of having the 7th floor, the time increased from 3 years to 4 years, including completion. Because the first advert was talking about superstructure, which was 63.9 billion. But later on, the 7th floor came in to handle the conferences, and then see how we can save money which we have been paying in the hotels. Workshops, seminars, now will be held there, conferences will be held there. Then the issue of heating, air conditioning, then firefighting equipment, ICT, All of them were factored in. Then interior design came in, and that came to a total of 110 billion, which means that each tower, 10 floors, is about 55 billion, to me, which is very, very good.
I have had the privilege of going to inspect the site with the permanent secretary, giving a few ideas here and there on how to improve, on how the structure should be. And so I thank God that today, that baby that was conceived way back in 1999 in terms of the idea has matured, the baby has been born, and we are here to celebrate this great milestone for the judiciary.
We are saving government 6 billion shillings in rent, which we have been paying for Supreme Court and Court of Appeal. 6 billion every year. I wish finance could give us that money and build more courts up country. At the time of estimation of the construction, the cost was about 1,050. But at the time of finishing, the cost was 901. So which means that we have saved the government almost 15 billion. If we were very unprofessional or unscrupulous, we want to have deals, percentage commissions, we would have said, let's maintain the original, estimated cost per square meter. But I said no. Why should we go that direction? Let's have the project, executed in time.
The contractors were relentless in their pursuit for the completion of these two structures. COVID-19 was not a hindrance to them. And what we have, which we are now celebrating, are masterpieces with provisions for court users, lawyers, robing chambers, reading chambers, there's child care provision, and so on and so forth. In the court also, there are a number of chambers for judicial officers, justices of the Supreme Court, and justices of the Court of Appeal. There are court halls, the largest of which seats 150 people and seats 9 justices for any case that would require that number of judicial officers.
We have finished in time. The structures are here. Really, my role has been more of a catalyst than anything else. Because I found these documents, I can't claim that I'm the one who drew the documents.
The 2 twin towers have provisions each for health club, gym, massage parlor, canteens for public and for the justices, a huge conference center, which takes a big number of conference users, and there is parking space for up to 226 motor vehicles. I believe the Ugandan taxpayer is happy that there is value for money. I take this opportunity to assure the people of Uganda, the court users, that this is going to propel the judiciary, the justices of the Supreme Court, the justices of the Court of Appeal, Constitutional Court, other officials of the judiciary, in the knowledge that this is a great challenge to the judiciary to reciprocate and give valued service to the people of Uganda who shouldered this burden. In accordance with the oath we have each taken to render justice to people of and in this country.
I thank the members of the contracts committee that I worked with. They were Her Worship Stella Atingu, who is now a registrar. We worked with His Worship Peter Fred Lochomin, who is the Chief Magistrate. We also worked with Miss Claire Asimwe, who was a Senior Assistant Secretary then. And also we had Miss Destiny Asea, who was our Secretary. With this group, we did a good job, and we are thankful to God for that which we managed to do. One of the reasons that we zeroed down on Seyani Brothers was the issue of technical compliance. This contractor had the right, the competent, and the able team to execute the contract.
Then you've got the consultants who are looking at the construction. Habitat International. they gave proper guidance. Then the contractor himself, Sayani, did a good job, good quality job. Don't mind that I put pressure on them. I really harassed them. I was coming here almost even Saturdays and Sundays, check on what they are doing. So, but they have done a good job. I want also to thank the contract manager, Engineer Bar. Engineer Bar really put in a lot of effort to make sure that nothing goes wrong.
I want to thank the evaluation committee that handled this procurement that was chaired by the Undersecretary, Ms. Maureen Kasande. I'm also very thankful to the head of the procurement and disposal unit, Mr. Deo Kasozi, for they did a very, very wonderful job.
We have done what people thought was not possible.
For the first time, it's a great celebration that the Supreme Court and Court of Appeal have permanent homes for themselves. The days of renting unsuitable premises, staying in malls and places that are meant to be residences are no more for us. You have your own headquarters. It is amazing. My prayer now is that God will grant their lordships and all the staff therein good health, and that they will administer justice to the people of Uganda, which is exactly what they need. And as the Bible says, may justice flow from these courts like a river.
I want to thank His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, for putting his feet down and ensuring that each financial year, the funds for the construction of these appellate towers, when it began, was availed. It is because of this that this construction was achieved in record time. I also want to thank members of management, the top management with whom I manage the judiciary together, my learned brother, the Deputy Chief Justice, the Principal Judge, the Chief Registrar, the Permanent Secretary, who is Secretary to the Judiciary, who was in charge of the management of the construction to ensure that the project was achieved in accordance with the plan and our aspiration. The contractors who did a splendid job, the project manager, stakeholders, for the interest, the commitment, the selflessness with which we all pursued and ensured that this project succeeds. I also want to conclude, this is a lesson to the people of Uganda that if we are patriotic about our country, we can do it. We've done it in the judiciary, it can be done elsewhere. It's a great pointer. I thank God that this was achieved during my tenure in office. God bless you all. Thank you.